So hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Saskia and I am I'm about to go into my second year of psychology, and I'm also a online tutor, which is more relevant to this video, I would say, than the other one. So you can probably tell by the title I'm going to be talking about how to get an A* in biology A-level. If you know me, I did not do A-levels, so don't instantly click off, but I did do the IB, so I got an A* equivalent. I got a 7, which is an A*, so I do actually know biology, so I do know how to revise. And I have also got over 200 lessons of tutoring, the majority of which have been biology A-level, partly psychology, a little bit of English. And I thought I would talk you through the tips that I know and the tips that I give to students to help them revise, the resources that I know that exist that are useful, and basically how to do well. So I've got my little notebook again. I always have my notebook. If I'm ever looking down in a video, it's because my notebook is always sat on my lap. For biology, I don't know all of the specs, so I don't know if this will be relevant. The specs that I have taught are AQA, which is, I think, the superior exam board. From what I've taught, it's the easiest exam board, like it's the best laid out exam board. OCR, which is probably second favourite. Edexcel A, Edexcel B, and then you can also use these tips for the IB, but I do have an IB video. I think I'm going to remake my IB video because it's, I think, literally like the third video I ever filmed, and it is poor quality, but I also don't think I said anything useful in it. So first thing I'm going to mention is websites to use. Now, your teachers might teach you, but some teachers aren't very good. I know when I was learning, my teachers, we had one teacher for one topic, like they covered an entire topic, which was an entire paper, 22% of our grade. I would have failed if I didn't go and learn it myself. And also, if you're going to revise, you can't just rely on what your teacher has given you. You need to show independent learning, transferable university skills, being an adult, that kind of thing. So I have quite a few websites and they are actually good. I know when I was doing like GCSEs, there was no good websites for revision for me. It was BBC Bitesize or Leave. Oh, and Primrose Kitten. My girl Primrose Kitten, which I will talk about because she's an icon. So, first thing I'm going to talk about is Save My Exams. I use Save My Exams all the time. I love the diagrams. If you like to learn with diagrams, or you're struggling to learn, the components of a cell, or anything that you need a diagram for, like maybe even the cell cycle, the diagrams on Save My Exams are so clearly drawn. It's so obvious what goes where. They have like a summary diagram of the entire process of transcription, the entire process of translation. If you are a visual learner, the pictures on Save My Exams are incredible. They only have revision notes for OCR and AQA, but you can find, like if you're doing Edexcel, you can still find what you need to find. It's just not in the same kind of setup, as in like per topic. You won't be able to kind of search up your topic of lifestyle, health and risk and find it. You'll have to look through like another topic in OCR or another topic in AQA. Then, this is something I only discovered yesterday, that's my phone. So I can't confirm that it's great, but in my research I found the Science Hive, and it looks nicely laid out. Save My Exams is still my number one for biology, it's my favourite, but the Science Hive I think the Science Hive is mostly Edexcel. So if you're Edexcel, the Science Hive is pretty good, it has a nice layout, it kind of does it by spec point, which is always the best way of learning because it makes sense to go by spec point essentially. Then we have Physics and Maths Tutor, which you would expect to be physics and maths, but it also does bio, psych, English, it does everything. Good. It's got mind maps, it's got flashcards, it's got summary notes, it's got definitions. If you're looking for downloadable resources, Physics Maths Tutor, PMT, perfect. Like, you don't have to go and make your own resources. You can literally just go download the entire summary of biological molecules or the entire summary of the cell cycle, and you've got it. You don't have to make anything yourself, which some people don't like making revision resources, but making revision resources I think is a really good way to revise because you're kind of actively learning. But if you don't want to make your own resources, or you just need like a quick catch up before an exam. Physics Maths Tutor has, I think, every spec. You can download it. Perfect. Then we have Primrose Kitten on YouTube. Primrose Kitten is the reason I passed my GCSEs. She does those videos for GCSEs where it covers the entire of like paper 1 and paper 2. For A-level, I think there's only a few videos. I don't think there's the whole A-level or AS content up. But if you are struggling on biological molecules, she does an entire video on biological molecules and separates it per spec point. So if you know that you're fine with monomers, polymers, monosaccharides, but you don't understand proteins, skip to proteins, just watch that bit and you're good to go. Then, final resource is TES. What does it stand for? Teaching, education? I don't know. I sell my notes on TES. I really like TES. There is, I think it's biology with Olivia. If I can remember the name of the shop, I think it is Biology with Olivia. She has loads of free resources and like summary notes. I also have a few A-level summary notes that I have put up for free because they didn't take me long to make and no one really wants to pay for anything. So yeah, TES is okay. If you're looking for kind of revision notes, you can find them there. Also, another side note, PMT has past papers and like topic questions. So if you need past papers and topic questions, get them from PMT or get them from your exam board website. So those are all the websites. I'm trying to go relatively quickly because these videos take, I just keep talking. Like we're at 7 minutes already and no one really wants to watch a video that's too long. Like I know all my videos are extremely long because I just talk and I have a lot to say. So yeah, those are the websites. Now we have some tips. So tip number 1, make summary documents. Don't copy and paste. Well, no, you can copy and paste. Don't just like download the ones from PMT. Make your own summary documents, lay them out however you want. If you want a poster, make a poster. If you want just pictures, just stick some pictures on it. I found this so helpful because it meant that when it came to like exam season, I didn't have to lug around my entire packet of notes. I literally could have 10 pages that had all of cells on it, 10 pages that had all of biological molecules on it, 10 pages for genetics, 10 pages for DNA, something like that. Like I would include all the pictures that I needed to know, that I need to be able to draw, all of the key definitions, and try and bullet point it. I think summary documents are incredible. You can literally make one document for all of your 4 topics. You could make 4 individual documents. Just go through either your handwritten notes and then type them up, because then you are actively typing, you are actively relearning it, or go on a website, copy and paste it, highlight it. That's kind of more passive. That's what I did. But I personally found that passive revision actually works quite well for me. Like I'd watch a TV show I've already watched before, so I'm not paying attention to it. I'd sit with my summary document and highlight it, or just passively read through it. And that did tend to do the job for me. Not necessarily recommending that because it doesn't work for everyone. Active revision is the best kind of revision. Then flashcards. I, for biology, wasn't that much of a flashcard lover, but I do recommend if you're like an active person, as in you go out and about a lot, make flashcards or get digital flashcards. So you can use Quizlet for digital flashcards. I liked Quizlet but didn't like Quizlet enough. I would rather have physical handmade flashcards that I could flick through, and I liked touching flashcards. Don't know if that's just me, but because I went on the bus to school every day, I would know that I could just sit there with just flashcards. Like I didn't have to take like all of my summary documents. I could take 20 flashcards and just flick through them for the bus. Like some people like flashcards, some people don't. I struggle to know what to put on flashcards, so if you don't want to make your own flashcards, Quizlet will have flashcards on whatever you want to find. Physics and Maths Tutor has flashcards, and I'm sure if you just search like biology A-level flashcards, you'll probably be able to find some. In terms of biology, I preferred my summary documents to my flashcards because I liked getting all of the information. I liked reading a lot, but that is just how I liked to learn. Then, number 3, read the spec, print out the spec, learn what the spec wants. I did this for my, my class notes. At the beginning of each subfolder, at the beginning of each topic, I printed out the spec for that topic. So if you're doing A-levels, say you have your cell topic, print out the spec for cells. You know what you're going to learn next. You know what you're going to learn in a month. You know what you need to be able to know. If you look at the spec and you can't do any of it, you've got a lot of revision to do. If you look at the spec and there's one point that you don't understand, look through your notes. Have you actually covered it? The spec is a great revision checklist, essentially. It can check that you have the bare minimum basic information that you need to be able to do things. Like if your spec just says hydrolysis reactions, you know you need to know about hydrolysis reactions, but then look, what examples of hydrolysis reactions do you need to know? Look through your notes about hydrolysis reactions. Do you actually understand the notes? Like, not just have you covered it, do you understand it and have you revised it? Like, you can make like those like red, amber, green checkboxes. Like you could do like a checkbox that's for if you've covered it, a checkbox that is for if you've revised it, and a checkbox for if you're as confident as you can be with it. So you could look at your spec and see that you've only got one box ticked on most of them. So you need to go back and you need to revise that topic. Please print the spec. For things like psychology, I didn't find it useful to have the spec, but for biology, for science, like for natural sciences, print the spec. It's so useful. So then a active revision that I liked to do was blurting. I would blurt in the form of a mind map or a poster. So in biology, let's say you're doing your biological molecules topic, you would, get a piece of paper, write biological molecules on it, maybe draw a few subheadings, so you've got proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, DNA, I don't know what else you do in biological molecules, I don't remember, and then just blurt everything you know. Like, sit there for an hour, half an hour, however long you can go for, or however long you want to go for. Don't do like 5 minutes though, like at least I'd say 20 minutes maybe, and just blurt. So, get a black pen or get a funky pen. If you have colour coding, like if you colour code your subjects, stick with your colour codes. So like each topic in biology was a different colour for me. So say biological molecules was blue, I would want everything on that page to be blue. So maybe I would have dark blue for my initial blurt of everything I know, and then go with your notes with a different shade of blue or a different shade of the colour that you've chosen for that topic, and then write anything that you didn't already know. And then do not bin that. Don't necessarily stick it up on your wall and worship it, but keep that as kind of active revision of what you know. You can look at that topic and see, oh, there's barely any light blue on that, I'm quite happy with that topic. Or you can look at that and think, oh, the entire lipid section is light blue, I need to revise lipids. This works in the same way as kind of looking at the spec, as in it helps you check what you actually know. Like, I've never been that much of an active reviser, don't really know why, I didn't like revising, but I kind of enjoyed blurting, especially on the topics that I actually liked. On the topics I hated, like bioinformatics, oh god no, that was awful, but it had to be done. Like, I knew if I could get bioinformatics done, I could move on to blurting on cells, and I quite liked my cells, or I quite liked my genetics, my plant biology, just not bacteria basically. Blurting is a nice kind of active revision that isn't past papers, because the best way to revise is probably past papers, but if you don't know the content, there's no point going to a past paper. So like, blurt on all your topics first, revise up on that, then move on to past papers. Past papers you can get from PMT, you can get from like the AQA website, Edexcel website, OCR website. You can normally find, I think I have like the 2016, 2017, 2018 specimen paper and 2019 for each exam board that I teach. So I think I've got like 6 past papers. But then on PMT, they have topic papers. Oh, there's another website, I think it might be like A-Star Biology Notes or A-Star Biology Notes, something like that, also has topic papers. So if you know that you're really poor at lipids, and you don't really understand the questions, go onto PMT, click on biological molecules, click on the lipids paper, do the lipids paper. They have the mark scheme up there as well, so it's not like you have to kind of guess what the answers are. But I would say they're useful. Like, it's easier than doing a past paper and hoping that you come across a lipids question. Like, if you know that you're really poor at lipids, go and just keep doing that lipids section, or find as many lipids questions as you can and get them done. Then you can go into a past paper, and if you find another area that you're weak at, do the same thing. Like, past papers can also act as a kind of a way of working out what you're not good at. Same as with your blurting. Like, if you're blurting and your lipids section is really empty, you need to revise lipids. If you do a past paper and you struggle with all the long answers, you need to work out how to structure a long answer, or you need to work out how to maybe understand diagrams or do the maths side. Linking on from that, the maths stuff, don't neglect the maths. You will always have a maths question. Normally magnification, don't neglect magnification. Know your conversion between your units. There's a nice picture on Save My Exams that just has a nice conversion. I was never good at magnification. Did I ever get a question correct on magnification? No, because I could not convert my units. I would just do it by I would times it by 100 when I was meant to times it by 1,000. I would just be slightly off. I was still incorrect though, it was still wrong. If you know that your maths is a bit, you're not too sure on your maths, just keep practicing it. Learn your conversions, check you know the formula. Once you know the formula and you know your conversions, you can't really go wrong. And you can also just find maths biology questions and just keep working through those, because you will absolutely get a maths question. You will get some kind of formula, and it won't be worth the huge amount of marks, but it's not worth losing the marks if you know that you can do it. Then my final, but probably most important thing, you have to learn definitions. Things like a hydrolysis reaction. You need to know the definition, and you also need to know the example. If you came across a question that said, how do you explain a hydrolysis reaction of maltose? If you don't know what maltose is, you don't know what maltose is made up of, great, that's fine. If you know what hydrolysis is, you've still got 1 mark. You've not lost any. You could maybe even get 2 marks if you can kind of think of maybe what bond might be in a maltose, or if you can name a bond, or if you can kind of mention something specific. Definitions are always the first mark in a question. As in, regardless of what the question is in biology, probably define something. If your question is explain vaccines, first point, what's a vaccine? Your first point in a question is a definition mark. I can absolutely guarantee that you need to know definitions. PMT has a list of all the definitions. It's really useful. I have some definitions on TES that I think are free, and definitions are the most important thing. If you don't even understand something, that's fine. If you don't understand what transcription is, that is fine. If you can go into a 6 marker on transcription and know that you can at least define it, from your definition you've got 1 mark. From your definition then, you might be able to think, right, if I know what the definition is, what else might happen related to my definition? Having the definitions is kind of the core basic knowledge that you need to get the marks. If you can get 1 mark on every single question from just a definition, you're already doing okay. You're not going to lose marks on silly things. Definitions are so important. Please learn definitions. In any subject, your definitions is important, especially in more essay subjects, but even in things like biology, if you get a 4 marker on anything, first mark will be a definition. If you get a 2 marker, 1 mark will be definition, 1 mark will be example. That is just kind of how they structure it. That's how it will end up being, essentially. So, I feel like I've talked really quickly. I have only filmed for 25 minutes, so I might be able to cut this down into a digestible video. I think that's everything I have to say. If there's anything else I have to say, it won't get said, or I will put it here, but I don't think there is anything. I will link everything I've spoken about down below. I will link individual TES shops as well, individual examples. If you want definitions, I will link the definitions. I will try and link everything specifically. So I will link PMT, Physics Maths Tutor, but I will also link the page to the Edexcel one, the AQA one, the AQA definitions, as much as I can. So if you are looking for the resources, go into the description, they will all be there. I'm kind of out of breath. That was quite fast paced, but hopefully that is everything. Hopefully that is okay. I feel like, there's only so much I can do by giving you tips. If you want to do well, you have to use the tips. If you didn't do too well in your mocks as well, have a look at your mocks. What did you do wrong? Was it that you don't understand the questions? Was it that you don't understand the content? Ask your teachers as well. It's their job to help you. If they give you a bad predicted grade and you don't understand why, go and ask them. Why have you got a bad predicted grade? Talk to your teachers, ask them where you need to improve, what they recommend you should do, because They have a degree. They should know more than you. Not that they always will, but they should know more than you, and they should know how to teach. If they don't know how to teach, you're just going to have to suffer and teach yourself. But I can absolutely guarantee you can teach yourself. I was off school for year 11. I was not really present for year 10. Taught myself the entire GCSE spec for biology, history, religious studies, English. Did I even sit any other GCSEs? Probably not. Still came out with B's and A's, 7s and 6s, so it's achievable, it's doable. You just have to sit and commit. You can do passive revision, you can do active revision, do what suits you. Maybe make a study timetable, even if it just says like, you know, Tuesday I'm going to do biological molecules active, and then Wednesday I'm going to do biological molecules passive. So, you know, Tuesday you'll do your blurting. Wednesday you'll just read through your notes. Like, I said I wasn't going to ramble, but I've now just rambled a bit more, and I'm getting overwhelmed. Life is hard, I'm getting overwhelmed, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to film a very similar video to this, either straight after this or tomorrow, on psychology. So if you do want to know about how to get an A star in psychology, do subscribe. And even if you're doing A-levels, I do have quite a few videos on the IB, like how to revise for the IB, so they might be helpful for A-level students, they might not be, but go watch them. If this was helpful, please like, please subscribe, please validate me, because I really need validation. And I'm really overwhelmed now, so I am going to end the video, but thank you very much for watching, hope this was helpful, and goodbye!